Happy Mondays, guys. The web gets thicker and thicker and thicker. We still sit here with no clear view on whether there's going to be a unification fight between Wilder and Joshua. I didn't think of his name. Okay. Wilder stands there, and his fanboys and his team and everyone, yeah, AJ, you ducking me, AJ this, AJ that. But okay, let's have a look at this. This fella's been fighting anyone and everyone, as long as they're not a danger to him. He's beat guys in his 36, 37, I've touched on this before, I know, I'm sorry if I'm boring the arse off anyone, but he's touched on, he's fought guys that in his 36, 37, 38 fights, people that the likes of AJ, this young lad from New York, the young Polish-American kid, Adam Kanauki, whatever he's called, forgive me, he looks a good fighter, Daniel Dubois, he's fighting guys that Daniel Dubois, Joe Joyce and people in that are targeting, and he's giving these people title shots. In the next breath he's saying, who's AJ fought? Well, hold on a minute, who's AJ fought? AJ fought Charles Martin, who's supposedly this walkover, but what I don't see Wilder going near him. I don't see Ortiz going near him. I don't see Povetkin going near him. He's supposedly this walkover. Charles Martin, I don't think he's a great heavyweight. I don't think he's even a top 10 heavyweight. But then, I'll be honest, I've only seen his fight I seen the fight where he won the title, which was a bit of a farce. It looked like the other guy was injured. Anyway, and I see he was awarded the title, wasn't he? He didn't actually win it. But anyway, fair play to the lad. He gets in the ring. I seen that fight, and I seen obviously his fight with AJ. Now again, I've said this before that fight, most of America was bigging him up as he's this, he's that, he'll destroy AJ, he's got a wicked left hook and that, and he times that 1-2, and AJ walks through him. Okay, so he's beat him. Now previous to that, he'd obviously beaten unbeaten Dillian Whyte. Say what you like about Dillian Whyte, he's a two-handed fighter, he gets in it, he has a fight. He has a fight, he doesn't do any of this, let's see how it goes, blah, blah. He gets in there and he has a fight. And I've said this before, Dillian Whyte's my favourite fighter today. I know he's not the greatest heavyweight of all time and this, that and the other, and I don't know if he is the best today or not. He's developing. Now this sounds strange, 29-year-old developing. I don't think he was handled in the best. I don't think he was trained the best. For whatever reason, I'm not having to go with his first trainers and that. I don't think he was trained the best. He's now under the Tibbs, like I say, obviously Jimmy Tibbs, walking, talking, living legend. Mark Tibbs' son. He was half the trainer his dad was, which I'm sure he is. And I'm sure the advice still comes from Jimmy. He'll be close to being one of the best trainers in the world, even if he's half the trainer his dad was. So, you know, you can already see improvements in Dillian's movement, in everything. He's just everything. He just looks a better and, more importantly, a fitter fighter. He just looks so fit. More switched on, everything. But that's the Tibbs for you. They won't suffer second best. They won't suffer people languishing, slouching about and this, that and the other. Or, oh, I can't train today. They don't do that. You know, you want to mess them boys around, they'll just say there's the door, no matter who you are. Could be Floyd Mayweather. They go, what, you think you're better than that? There's the door. So yeah, Joshua's beat him. He's beat Martin. He's beat Don Brazil. Now, the three of these guys were unbeaten fighters. He's beaten Klitschko. We all know what the Wilder fanboys think, and Wilder himself, and what they put out there, and they talk about Klitschko like he was about 65, 70 years old, and he was on a walking stick, and you know, and people were offering him, do you want a hand into the ring? You know, you're all right, Vlad. You know, have you got that bus pass in, Vlad? I nearly said something I shouldn't. I really shouldn't. And try not to say. But it's sheep or cows. I know what it is. It's bullshit. Vlad was in one of the best conditions I've ever seen him in that night. He was bouncing around, still on his toes and everything, in the 10th and the 11th, like I say. And yeah, he was probably, I'd say, a round up in the fight. Fair play to, you know, I'm nothing if not honest. And hopefully as my channel, if it ever grows and gets, people will understand this. And like I've said to people today I've been talking to from the States and that online, if Deontay Wilder was to fight Anthony Joshua or Dillian Whyte and Deontay Wilder was to beat them, I'd be the first person to go back to these people and say, fair enough, he won, fair and square, providing he did win fair and square, of course, fair and square, you know, fair enough, well done Deontay. Wilder fanboys wouldn't go into Intel. I mean, I had similar, I don't like it because I don't put them quite in the same bracket, but there was some people who were bigging Joseph Parker up, and he was going to do this, and he was going to do that, and he was going to chin AJ, and I've not had a reply. I can't even find them. It's like the comments have disappeared off these videos that they were commenting on. Same for Lucas Brown. With Dillian Whyte, I've saying to people, nah, you know, well, we'll see when Dillian hits him, won't we? And no. And some Americans chipping in as well. No, Lucas Brown knocked Shaggy out. Now all of a sudden Lucas Brown's a walking, talking, whatever you want to call him in their opinion. No, I never said that, or you know, but Lucas Brown was the. Hold on a minute, I've seen on another video there your comment saying Lucas Brown was going to wipe the floor with Dillian Whyte in 7 rounds. People in this country going against Dillian Whyte. I've touched on another video again what I think about that. People going against their own without due reason. What's there to have a go at Dillian Whyte for? I ask anyone. What's there to have a go at him for? Yes, he's up front. Yes, he's in your face. That's his character. But the guy gets in there and he backs it up. And people say, like I've had even Americans saying, what's he got to face Wilder for? He got KO'd with their filthy language by AJ. Well, 2 things there. One, it was early in the careers. And 2, he stood there near the fight with AJ. Most people, I would love to see Deontay Wilder stand there and have a fight, stand on AJ's toes and have a fight with him and come out of it. I would, if that referee hadn't stopped it the other week, if he'd have let them go together, Parker and AJ, I know who the winner would have been in a tear up like that, because for a big man, and as good as he showed he is at long range fighting, in close quarters AJ is some force. He is for a man that big, he's as good as I've seen in close quarters. And I'll say that, you know, he whips them uppercuts in a la Lennox Lewis. He's reminding me more of Lewis at times now. He's got some way to go before he's Lennox Lewis. Were they to afford, I just don't think he did. Lewis was so clever. But some of the stuff these Wilder fanboys come out with, I mean, they'd have you believe Wilder's the greatest heavyweight of all time. I mean, come on, who's he beat? I'll say it again, who is this man beat? He's beat Victor Ortiz. He's beat Luis Ortiz, who's 39 years old, got high blood pressure, been banned for doping, struggled against Dave Allen. No disrespect to Dave Allen. I keep saying this, I've put in comments and I say this on video now. No disrespect to Dave Allen, because Dave Allen's a bloody good fighter. I mean, Dillian White had the time of it with him and that. But what I'm trying to say is, they're talking like Deontay Wilder's beat George Foreman or someone. He didn't even punch that hard, Luis Ortiz. He doesn't even punch that hard. Watching him, yes, he hits hard. He does not hit like his nickname goes, King Kong. He does not hit like, you know, extraordinarily hard. Because I'll say this, if that would have been some of the heavyweights, even from the past, Frank Bruno, if he would have hit, caught flush as Ortiz did, if he would have had Deontay Wilder going like that, Deontay Wilder, he wouldn't have needed that many shots. It'd have been one massive Frank Bruno right hand, and they would have been carting Wilder out of there off to get a check up, because Jose Ribalta had a far better chin than Deontay Wilder, or maybe even in any of the boys today. Have got, probably with the exception of Parker, who has got a good chin, Joe Parker. He had a cracking chin, Ribalta, and Bruno hit him with a shot that, Christ, I can still hear it now, I can still feel it now. I felt it. And I was whatever I was, 15-year-old lad sat watching it on TV at the time, actually. It's staggering. The excuses get worse with each day. To coin a phrase from Del Boy, and they've got more front than south end. You know? Some of the stories are better than the Beano. I've had people telling me, oh no, Wilder didn't fight Klitschko because he was being his main sparring partner. One guy told me, oh well, you know, it didn't work like that. Main sparring partners don't fight each other. Come on, if the money's there, they're both champions, they're both what? You do fight each other. You do fight each other. All this main sparring partner rubbish. Again, well, the first I heard of that was, I know people say that's why McCall and Tyson didn't fight. I don't think it was that. McCall and Bruno had been sparring partners. Lewis had fought ex-sparring partners, and loads of people spar. It's just rubbish. The only real, where that story comes from is because of the shame that the tragedy that happened with Muhammad Ali, how clear it was that he should not have been in the ring with Larry Holmes that night. So that's where that comes from. Not all Americans, but a lot of your a lot of these Wilder fans, they jump on that. Oh no, this is the reason, that's the reason. Then they tell you it's another reason. The real reason is on YouTube. The real reason is in a document, and it's in a video on YouTube, and I'll keep pumping this out there. OTF TV, he's got it there. Deontay Wilder is a fraud. You click on the video and it shows you the letter. We don't feel Wilder's ready because he's still a baby, he's a work in progress, there's no need to push him into big fights, yada yada yada. AKA, we ain't going near Klitschko at the time. And they can stand there and he can stand there and make as much noise as he wants on whatever. AJ, I want you. AJ, I want it. Mate, you didn't turn up in Cardiff the other week. You ain't the A-side. The States ain't the A-side anymore. It's here. Lennox Lewis seen to that. It's here. You ain't had no one since Holyfield's prime. You ain't had no one since Holyfield's prime. That's not me being bitter at all, because, or being anti-American, or all these things I've been called, because I'll say it. I loved Mike Tyson. I loved watching Bo Holyfield. Foreman, even in his second time. I go back and I watch videos of Marciano, Ali, Shaver. I've met Ernie Shavers on numerous occasions. A lovely guy, warm, intelligent, time for people. I says to Ernie Shavers, I says, you must get fed up with people. And he goes, it's okay, son, you want to talk? Nah. You know, it's just, this guy isn't. His fan base is delusional on another level. You point out that he didn't fight anyone in the rankings in the top 200 until he fought Audley Harrison in his 28th fight, who was ranked 136 at the time. I know I've said this before. And they start talking about Lehman Brewster beating Klitschko, and it doesn't matter what you say, they find a way of twisting it, basically, to make it sound like no, everyone's avoided Deontay Wilder. So okay, all these top guys are avoiding Deontay Wilder, are they? Really? After watching what Spilker done to him, after watching what Ortiz has just done to him, after watching the way, when he could be bothered, Stavern took him the distance, when Stavern could be bothered to get fit for the fight, when he wasn't paid and spent half his time his mornings training in Burger King and his evenings training in McDonald's, which is what he looked like. This guy, Wilder, he somehow managed to be world champion for 3 years. Again, I had another delusional American who then changed his story, telling me, another delusional, I say American Wilder fanboy. Forgive me if any Americans are listening. I'm not anti-American at all. I like I say, I love American boxing. Generally, I don't differentiate between UK and American, but I just love boxing. But these Wilder fans, the guy says, Deontay won the WBC title in when he won the WBC in 2013. It's older. He won it in 2015. In his next message, it's, no, I didn't say that. I said he won a version. I said he won a heavyweight title in. It was a lower title, like a minimum title, in 2013. We're not interested in that. Joe Bugner won a minimum title. You know, if we want to take it there, we could say, well, in actual fact, Joe Bugner's the oldest heavyweight champion ever, because he won, I think it was IWA title or something in 1999 or 90 or whenever it was. But he was, you know, he couldn't have been a million miles off 60 or whatever. The excuses are appalling. They are. It's like reading something out the Sunday Sport. You know, Elvis seen on a building site in Wigan. They do well there. Sorry guys if this has turned into a rant. It's just, they're unreal, and until something is in concrete, I don't think I'm going to be engaging any of them anymore. Like I say, would they come on to finish up? If Wilder got beat, would they be as generous in congratulating as we would? No way. Take care all.